The reason men get morning wood isn't what you think. Plus, find out which multinational business name you probably pronounced incorrectly, and the astonishing amount the United States spends on weed killer each year. Number 1. In China, a double hit is when a driver intentionally hits a pedestrian multiple times to ensure their life is ended, as it's often cheaper than paying for their ongoing care and disability if they're injured. According to state, the driver faces a smaller fine if the person perishes and larger ongoing payments if they live disabled. Number 2. When stars run out of fuel and can't counteract their own gravity, they collapse into white dwarfs or neutron stars. A teaspoon of white dwarf material from sun-sized stars weighs 15 tons, while a teaspoon of neutron star material from larger stars weighs 4 billion tons. A single teaspoon of neutron star material is so dense that it exceeds the weight of the entire human population on Earth by a significant margin. Number 3. Taylor Swift will net between $500 million and $1.5 billion from Eras, her latest tour, according to estimates from Forbes. That would be her take-home pay after marketing expenses and paying her crew. Number 4. There was a room at the top of the Eiffel Tower. It was originally intended to accommodate notable visitors to the tower and included a living room, a piano, a kitchen, and bathroom, but no bedroom. Number 5. St. Vitus dance was an illness in the Middle Ages which caused dancing mania. Sufferers would experience involuntary convulsions of the body muscles, which looked like a dance until they dropped or else died from exhaustion. Today, the disease is far less prevalent and referred to as Sydenham chorea. Number 6. Ancient Egyptians used a paste made of crocodile dung and honey to act as a contraceptive. Not only did the paste act as a plug, crocodile dung is alkaline, so it would neutralize the man's seed and was actually quite effective, although not to be tried at home. Number 7. Soldiers break step while marching across bridges to prevent dangerous vibrations known as resonances. Like a snowball turning into an avalanche, these vibrations can grow and potentially cause the bridge to collapse, which could be triggered by a large army marching in cadence. Number 8. The temperature at ground level reached between 3,000 and 4,000 degrees Celsius within seconds following the Hiroshima bomb exploding on August 6, 1945. By comparison, the surface of the sun is about 5,600 degrees Celsius. Number 9. The original patent for the fire hydrant was destroyed in a fire when the U.S. Patent Office burned down on 15 December 1836. Number 10. Solozowa is a town in Poland in which all 6,000 residents live on the same street, which stretches 9 kilometers. Number 11. Each new branch of a broccoli is a miniature version of the whole plant. This is an example of a fractal, which are objects that exhibit self-similarity across different scales, meaning that they are made up of smaller, identical shapes. Nature is full of fractals, with others including trees, rivers, and coastlines. Number 12. 35 Taliban members were killed in a 2-hour gunfight in Operation Red Wing. The battle was portrayed in the movie Lone Survivor, based on the non-fiction book by the same name. Number 13. Many babies today are being born without wisdom teeth. This is a microevolution of human beings caused by our changing diet and breathing habits, among other factors. As a result, our jaws are becoming smaller and leaving less room for teeth. Number 14. Nikola Tesla, a famous inventor and electrical engineer, was born in 1856 during a fierce lightning storm. Midway through the birth, the midwife declared the lightning a bad omen and claimed that the child would be one of darkness. His mother replied, "No, he will be a child of light." Number 15. The global replacement fertility rate is 2.1. That means that on average, each woman needs to have 2 children to ensure population stability or growth. Anything below that number leads to population decline. In China, the number was 1.3 in 2020 and fell to 1.15 in 2021. Number 16. An estimated 200 self-settlers returned to their villages in the exclusion zone around Chernobyl, following the 1986 nuclear meltdown, ignoring safety warnings and often doing so illegally. Number 17. To train for spacewalks, some astronauts use the Precision Air Bearing Floor. According to NASA, the PABF is like a giant air hockey floor. Jets of air allow massive objects to move with no friction, allowing astronauts to sense how objects would move in space with no force of gravity acting on it. Number 18. 11 men died during the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Another 19 men joined what was known as the Halfway to Hell Club, which is where they fell but were saved by a safety net. Number 19. Following decades on the run for his crimes at Auschwitz during World War II, Joseph Mengele's last known pseudonym was Wolfgang Gerard. Number 20. A man's attraction to a female's behind is evolutionary. A shapely and perky bottom is an indicator of a woman's reproductive health and fertility, while the curves of a woman's buttocks and hips can signify the presence of estrogen, a hormone associated with reproductive ability and sexual arousal. Number 21. Despite common belief, morning wood for a male is not associated with needing to urinate. Instead, it's the result of sleep cycles, especially during REM sleep, combined with healthy nerves, blood flow and hormones where a man's testosterone levels are at their highest in the morning. If you want to help out our channel, let us know you're enjoying these facts by giving this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, or even leave a comment. Number 22. Penguins live almost entirely in the southern hemisphere. Of the 18 species of penguins, only the Galapagos penguin lives ever so slightly above the equator. Number 23. Ancient Egyptians used cubits and hands as units of measurement. A cubit was the length between a person's elbow and the tip of their middle finger. A hand was the width of a hand with the thumb at the side. Number 24. The Pringles can was created by Frederick J. Barr, who died at age 89 in 2008. He was cremated and his ashes placed in a Pringles can for burial. Number 25. Upper cross syndrome is a common cause of joint dysfunction in humans. It is an imbalance caused by tight pectorals or chest muscles, and also upper trapezius muscles, combined with weak lower traps and deep neck flexors. Pain and loss of mobility are common symptoms. Number 26. The Union Jack symbol combines aspects of 3 different national flags from before the symbol's creation in 1606. It combines the Red Cross of St. George for the Kingdom of England, the white saltire of St. Andrew for Scotland, and the red saltire of St. Patrick to represent Ireland. Number 27. A big difference between rats and mice is that mice are curious and rats are cautious. Number 28. Naval cannons in the 18th century were extremely dangerous to load. The tube of the cannon itself often wasn't designed perfectly straight, which could result in premature explosions from the very projectiles they were trying to shoot. Number 29. The ballpoint pen was created by Ladislao Jose Biro in 1938 to replace leaky fountain pens. He was inspired by children playing marbles in the rain, which left behind a trail of water. The ballpoint pen features a small rotating metal ball that picks up and transfers ink to paper while being held tightly in a socket to prevent ink from drying out. Number 30. The American corporation with the tick logo should be pronounced Nike, according to the company's chairman. The company was named after the ancient Greek goddess of victory, Nike, whose name was also pronounced that way. Number 31. Harland Sanders was once the top tire salesman for Michelin Man in Kentucky, in which he would regularly don the Michelin Man suit at fairs and public events. Number 32. Bertolt Brecht once said, "The aim of science is not to open the door to infinite wisdom, but to set a limit to infinite error." Number 33. Speaking of infinite error, a Brazilian priest floated over the ocean by holding onto hundreds of helium party balloons in 2008 in a fundraising event. His body was found 3 months later, having crash-landed into the ocean. Number 34. Weeds are estimated to cost agricultural industries in Australia approximately $4 billion a year. That figure is about $34 billion each year in the United States. Number 35. The United States has more guns than people. According to Bloomberg in 2022, there were 393.3 million guns compared to a human population of 330 million. That's 1.2 guns per person, or 1.5 guns per adult. Number 36. A family in Michigan all share the same birthday. Anna Anderson, who shares a birthday on 14 April with her husband Rory, gave birth to her son, Beau Benjamin, on April 14, 2023. The odds of that happening are 1 in 133,408. Number 37. It's more common to hear about females faking an orgasm, but studies tend to conclude that 1 in 4 men has faked it too. Number 38. Counting cards at a casino is typically not illegal. However, security have the right to ask you to leave as the casino is private property. Refusal to do so could lead to a trespassing charge. Number 39. Cartoon character Peppa Pig is voiced by 12-year-old Amelie Bea Smith, who is the 4th person to voice the character. Her predecessor was Harland Sanders, who started at the age of 5 and voiced Peppa Pig for 13 years, reportedly earning €1,000 per hour. Number 40. Franz Jagers' daughter was an Austrian conscientious objector during World War II, who was guillotined by the Nazis for his refusal to kill enemy soldiers. Refusal to fight was considered not only a high crime against Germany, but against Hitler himself. Most German conscientious objectors were executed. Number 41. Australia's Tasmanian tiger, which is thought to have gone extinct in the 20th century, was actually very timid and very rarely attacked humans. They were also known to die very suddenly, perhaps from going into shock. Number 42. Chaos theory describes the science of surprises. While science can calculate and predict gravity, for instance, it cannot predict stock market moves or exactly forecast the weather. There are too many moving parts, where small change in one part can have enormous effects on another. This is also known as the butterfly effect. Number 43. A 100-year-old person is a centenarian. A person who lives to 110 is a supercentenarian. Number 44. Temperatures in space when exposed to direct sunlight can be more than 270 degrees Fahrenheit, or 135 degrees Celsius. Number 45. Peter Medawar won the 1960 Nobel Prize in Physiology of Medicine for his pioneering research on the immune system's ability to distinguish between self and non-self cells, enabling organ transplantation and immunosuppressive drugs. Number 46. The War on Terror was launched by President Bush in 2001, and its name soon became Operation Enduring Freedom. However, in 2003, the president's press secretary referred to the Iraq invasion as Operation Iraqi Liberation, or OIL, which fueled conspiracy theories. Number 47. Goosebumps have a number of biological purposes, but the primary two are to help insulate the body against the cold, and to make the body appear larger. The latter purpose can help in scaring off prey, as well as helping to attract a mate. Number 48. A report by Bruce King and J. Sex Marital Thayer concluded from various studies that the average length of a man's erection is between 5.1 and 5.5 inches, 12.95 to 13.97 centimeters, but after taking volunteer bias into account, it is probably toward the lower end of this range. Number 49. Sweden's Stockholm Central Station uses the excess heat generated by commuters on trains to generate hot water, which is then piped into a neighboring office building to keep it warm. According to Ecology Center, this provides between 15% and 30% of the office's heat. Number 50. The Under Armour logo contains both of the company's initials, the U in the top part with an overlapping A. Please give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.